So I am Wendy Hadley. I am an associate professor in the Department of Counseling, Psych, and Human Services. I think the most compelling thing is I am a clinician and a researcher, and I value both of those roles. And so when I do research, I'm thinking also with my clinical brain the entire time. And how do we make this work in a clinical setting? In my work, it's primarily focused on adolescents and adolescents who have mental health problems or other health conditions. And so thinking about how does this research work for them and impact those outcomes and make these adolescents' lives better. What I love about and what was most intriguing to me in coming to the University of Oregon was this idea that taking research and putting it in the community and training students from an evidence-based model. And also just there's some phenomenal researchers here who I've admired for a long time. And so it was a lot of fun to come here and see how they've taken that work and that work that's been happening for 20 or 30 years and actually putting it in schools and putting it in communities and making it accessible. There's also collaboration, and especially when you think about adolescents, they exist within families and within schools and communities. And I think that across the College of Ed, there are so many people who have their hands, and I mean really in those communities and in those spaces, who have the knowledge about how do you take these things and really make them make sense in those worlds. And moving to Oregon has just been breathtaking. There are places that are like little hidden enchanting spaces that you can go out into nature that are an hour outside of Eugene. Just the access to the beach and the coast and the access to, the mountains and the access to skiing, all of those things is really in terms of lifestyle has been really very cool. What I love about working with students and training them in these clinical ways and training them in their third year is really about what happens when they start to feel really positive. And to watch that magic happen over the course of the year where these clinicians just blossom and have success with families and see positive outcomes and are able to put what's happening in the classroom and all these things we teach and actually put it into practice in that light bulb moment. For years now, I've been focusing on families and also on something we call emotion regulation, and emotion regulation specifically in teenagers. And how do we build emotion regulation? And how do we use emotion regulation to enhance decision making? And they may know the best information and they shouldn't do this, but they get there and they just, that sense of curiosity or fear or pressure or even excitement can get in the way of making healthy decisions. So I hope in my work that this will be my legacy, that this emotion regulation piece and thinking in terms of training and in terms of research will be something that I can add to this already really amazing world of research in the world of adolescent risk behavior and health outcomes.